Welcome to Millennials on the Move, a segment brought to you by young and thriving entrepreneurs, where we are here to showcase entrepreneurs all across the globe, showcasing their talent, businesses, anything that they're doing in the community. I am your host, Brittany Kendall, and today I have with me a man of great stature who is doing great things in many cities such as Dallas, Chicago, LA, Houston area, the owner of CNP Luxury Transportation. Please help me welcome Nick Preston. Hey Nick, how you doing?
How you doing? I'm doing great, Brittany. Thanks for having me, man. I feel honored, such a privilege to be here. Millennials on the move.
Okay, so tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, I'm 33 years old. I'm a father, a friend, a son, and a serial entrepreneur.
Okay. So how did you come up with the name CNP Luxury?
It was different names. When I first started out, I really wanted to be Nikki P's.
Really?
And my family was like, "What, Nikki P's? Like, ain't nobody gonna jump in a car that's named Nikki P's. Like, what is that?" And then so I just started like maybe Christian. I don't want it to have like a belief behind it. And then I was like, okay, created by Nick Preston.
Okay,
so, yeah,
I didn't even know that.
Yeah, so created by Nick Preston is what it was. So CNP Luxury Transportation, that's what it is.
Okay, so did you have like a financial plan? Was you self-funded, or did you take out loans, or how did you actually start your business?
So when I first started, I brought it up to my family, and we all sat at a round table, and I wanted to do a car wash first. At first, I was like, man, I wanted it to be a car wash, and then once I like counted up the cost of a car wash, I was like, nah, that's too much.
Yeah.
And I had a guy actually present the limousine business to me when I was 22 years old, and so I thought about it. I was like, man, all I have to do is just get a car, and then I already kind of had like clientele that knew I can like have some type of stability. So I was like, that will like hurry up and help me gain ground real quick. So we all sat at a round table, and I was like, well, my tax return is coming. So I want to do something different with my tax return. So
yeah.
So we sat down, and they was like, well, wherever we can do to help, we don't mind helping. So my tax return came back $2,500, and I was like, well, I went to this guy I knew who had a dealership in cars, and so I said, hey man, this is what I want to do. He was like, okay, whatever you need me to do, I can help or whatever. I was like, well, I need a town car. And he was like, well, I need $4,000. So I found this town car, and that would be a down payment. So we found one in New York. I came up with the funds with my family's help, and I got the first town car. And
so you started with a town car.
Started one town car.
Okay.
Yeah.
So how, like most people, because they try to start businesses with family as staff. I know for me, I probably wouldn't hire my family as staff.
Right.
Is that how do you have the organizational structure of your business, or did you start out with family and maybe you let some people go? Like, how did they go?
Oh, I used everybody.
Okay.
Yeah, I used everybody, and I had times I had to use myself because family wasn't there, so I had to make up a name and email people as under a different alias name.
Yeah.
So, but I had to start off with an assistant. Her name was Quinn.
Okay.
And she was great. She helped me get to a certain level, and then when I know I need to get to another level, then I had to, remove her and then get somebody else. So yeah, it was.
So you didn't start with family; you started with somebody, or did you? You kind of started.
Well, it was family, and then like even if I had to use my sister, I was like, hey, I'll call her. Hey, I need you to answer this person for me. Yeah. And my sister helped out, and she started to get like used to it. But then she was like, "You're not paying me."
And that's how it is, because you usually start businesses with family because you can't really pay them, so they kind of like understand what's going on. And so what was it that clicked, like that made you say, this is what I want to do, this is what I feel like would be successful, this is what I know would.
I actually just got tired of doing the same thing over and over. So I was doing valet. I was working at a country club parking cars, and I was just around successful people all the time, and I knew just the minimum wage salary, the tips, I just knew it wasn't going to give me the lifestyle that I wanted. And so I was just like, next year I wanted to just go into it with a different plan, a different idea. So that's what made me like get excited about just starting something. Like I was like, no, so I just started like writing a plan, but the plan that I already had was for a car wash. Then when it came to the limousine business, I had to restructure.
Yeah.
I mean, the outline of the business hours, I still wanted uniform. All that kind of stayed the same. but just the idea of a business or transportation, like
And you
I
had to
kind of
just
had to,
change the
yeah,
concept.
I just
Yeah.
had to change that part.
Yeah.
But for the most part, I had like a foundation already set.
So so most people like they work a full time business. Like for myself, I work full time employment plus run businesses on the side and still do stuff. So how what was it that made you like hop into full time entrepreneurship? Like I gotta quit my job. This is what I'm about to do full time.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, I was working at GE at the
Mhm.
time, so
Okay.
I was working in a mail room. I was actually collecting people's mail and packages and delivering it around. And the owner of GE, well, no, not the owner, the vice president of GE, he hired me on like with a salary based pay. So I was like, man, this is perfect. From what I came from minimum wage to making 40,000, which I thought was real like a lot of time. And so I started collecting my money, like the over because I was living in a cheap apartment. My apartment was like $5.99, a
Really?
1 bedroom apartment,
Oh my
right in
God.
Houston, like $5.99. Because I went in there with everything, like I'm a student, I need this discount, I need that. So my rent was cheap, and so to have a $40,000 salary with a cheap rent, I just started saving the extra income. And so when it was time to like make that shift, I was able to, you know, leverage, kind of try to leverage both. So when I started when I bought the town car, um, it was when I bought the town car, it was kind of like, okay, this car is sitting here and I'm working my full time job. So I would try to do both at the same time. I was doing both.
Yeah, that's what I'm doing.
So I was leaving work and it's like, I'm not about to say this because y'all going all over the world, but I was leaving work, picking up people, taking them to the airport, coming back and getting back in uniform, acting like I did not leave. And then so it just, I started making connections to where I was starting to get 13 trips a day. And so I had to call into work 3 days in a row. And then so I just eventually like, let me tell my boss before I get fired and he find out what I'm doing. So I just told him, I said, hey, you know, I started this business, this, that, and third. He was excited. He was actually happy for me that I actually stepped out and did it. He didn't know I was doing it on like company time. But yeah, so I did that, and I put my 2 weeks notice. I finished out my 2 weeks, and he actually like a year later used my service.
Really?
Yeah, he kept his promise and said, you know, I'll help you out one day, and you know, actually, said I use your business, and he did it.
Oh. So when we come back from the break, we'll talk more with Nick about full-time entrepreneurship and leaping into that and what that looks like, and also touch on some points about full-time entrepreneurship because I'm quite sure a lot of people are running businesses as well as working a full-time job. So we'll be back after commercial break. All right, welcome back to Millennials on the Move. As we before we went to the break, we were talking with Nick Preston, the owner of CMP Luxury Transportation, about leaping into full-time entrepreneurship while running a business. You know, just basically leaping into full-time entrepreneurship means that you're working a business or you're working an actual full-time job, and then you're working your business on the side. And so we talked to him and discussed those things. And so, what was like? Did you have a marketing strategy or some sort that you came up with that was like, hey, you know, this is what is going to work, to where you no longer needed to work full time, or did you just like, was it a struggle for you when you first leaped out and left your job at the limo service or the detail valet service? Was it a struggle, or did it just like boom?
No, it was hard. It was hard because, like I said, like I had this town car in it for the first 3 weeks. It was sitting, but when the car came, the side mirror was broke. Like it in the middle of the transitioning to get to the dealership, the side mirror was off, and I was still waiting for the license plates to come in. And so for the first 3 weeks, I had no business. And before I even got the town car, I was calling my friends that either worked admin jobs, that worked at the hotel. And I'm like, hey, this is what I'm going to do. Like, if I started, would you help me? And because the friends my homeboys and stuff that I had that I knew that weren't going to help me, I kind of like isolated myself from them. But the people I knew that was going to help me, or I thought that would help me, like I was calling them like, hey, I'm going to start this business. If I started, would you help me? And would you promise you'll help me? And they was like, I got you. You know, they was excited for me. But when I got the card, like I'm calling, nobody's calling me back. I'm like, man, so for the first 3 weeks, I even had a friend that worked valet at a hotel. And he was like, man, just pull up to the hotel. You know, when people come out, just tell them jump in your car. I'm sitting out there, nobody's jumping in the car. So
was it because the mirror was hanging?
So I finally got my mirror, and so I'm sitting outside the hotel. That's not working. I'm going to each hotel. I'm young. I'm black. So people are not like giving me a chance. They're lying to me in my face, like, I got you. You know, just come here. I got you. But they didn't have me when I needed it.
Yeah.
So my best friend, her name is Gabby, and she gave me one opportunity. She called me because she worked the night shift at the hotel, and she called me on Good Friday. 2014 Good Friday.
Wow.
And she gave me that one shot. Right. And I said, man, if you give me this job, I'll kick back. I get a $20 kickback. So she gave me the job, and after that, I was just unstoppable. And she kept giving me jobs. And then so this one lady, where I told you I was working at GE still, and I still had this town card. So this lady was like, man, you dressing nice all of a sudden. Like, why are you dressing up in suits at work? And then so I told her what I was doing, but I was like, you know, you can't get me in trouble. Like, this is what I'm doing. But so she was like, well, my husband, he worked at the Boys and Girls Club. And his assistant works at the Hilton Hotel on the VIP floor. And she said, I'm gonna tell him, you know, about your service, and maybe y'all can make that connection. So I go and I meet with the lady, and she was just like, man, you young, I don't know, like, if you're gonna be dependable, if you're gonna pick up my clients, are you gonna be on time? But she's like, you know, I'm gonna try you out. So she gave me she gave me a client. I was on time, I was dressed nice, I did my job. But she didn't get a lot. It wasn't like a lot of clients. It was probably like 3 or 4 a week. And so she introduced me to this Asian guy on the first floor, and that's when I told you, I started getting 13 trips a day, and that's when I had to call in. So I was doing both for 7 months. I was leaving work, trying to pull up on weekends on my days off, and pull up outside the hotel and all that. And so it was like when I met this guy, he started giving me 13 trips. That's when it just all of a sudden it clicked in.
So like, when you quit your job, you found another job after that, or when you quit your job?
Was it. Once he started giving me those 13 trips, it just kept coming.
Okay, so business started picking up for you. It wasn't like a struggle or a stagnant place.
Well, this guy, he was good at what he was doing, and I just had to take that leap of faith. Like I just had to trust him. Like I just something in me.
Some people it's a little slow before it goes off, and then you know what I'm saying. Then it kicks up, but it seemed like you just walked right into it. Basically.
Yeah, I would leave work and I would pick up my pastor. Like one day I picked up my pastor, and this was around the time the guy was giving me 13 trips. Maybe the first day the guy gave me the 13 trips, and I'm riding with my pastor, and he was like, "Hey Nick," he was like, "Are you working today?" I was like, "Yeah, I need to hurry up and get back to work. I need to hurry up and drop you off and get back." He said, think about what you're doing. He said, I'm paying you $75 for 30 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
He said, and how much you make at your job? I said, I'm making $20 an hour.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought it was a lot. I'm like, I'm making $20 an hour, but you need to hurry up and get on my car. So you need to hurry up and get my car so I can make this $20.
Yeah.
He was like, but I'm paying you 75. He's like, think about it. If you do this multiple times a day, he's like, don't automatically think like you need health insurance and you need to have all your like everything lined up before you quit. He was like, did you give yourself like a timeline? Like, I'm only gonna do this for a certain amount of time and then I'm gonna quit. And it's like October. And I was like, yeah, January. I said, once I get like 5,000 saved up, I said, I'm gonna quit. He was like, okay. But 2 days later, I quit. Because the guy kept giving me the trips and I kept thinking about what he told me. I'm like, yeah, why am I leaving work? If these people are paying me $70, if I'm getting 13 trips, each trip is $75.
Yeah.
And I'm over
That's
here
like $75 an hour.
Yeah, and I'm leaving work for $20 an hour. It just didn't make sense. And all of a sudden it just clicked and I just went to my boss. I was like, hey, this is it.
Wow.
And I was like, I want to end on a good note, just in case this business do fail, I can come back. I done gave you 4 years of my time.
So do you get a lot, because I've seen how much your business has grown, do you get a lot of business by word of mouth, or is it like social media, or is it, people?
It's everything. I'm real cheap, so I don't pay for it. Like when it comes to like the extra stuff, I really leverage social media. Yeah. Like whatever is free, I'm in it. Yeah. So if it can be word of mouth, if it's Facebook or Instagram, I'm not paying for ads. Yeah. I don't. But yeah, so and then I always think like, if I get you in front of me, I'm gonna win you over. Yeah. So if I can get the client, and then I'm gonna do my best. I'm gonna put my best on. I'm gonna have my water in there. I'm gonna have my best suit on, and then so it's gonna make you say something to the next person. Mm-hmm. And at the beginning, I was charging like a reasonable price. I was charging taxi rate on purpose, just so I can win a person over, and it worked. So yeah, that's how I was able to like maintain it and gain the traction that I've gained so far.
Okay, so with the pandemic happening, were you largely impacted by it? Because you know how people was like in their house, and so they couldn't go nowhere.
It wasn't, because the clubs were still open.
Okay.
So for the first 4 weeks, yeah.
Okay.
For the first 4 weeks, I had no trips because they shut down Houston. So but I just used the time because I have a little son, and he'll be 4 January 2nd. Okay. And I just used the time, like, I'm gonna potty train him. Yeah. I'm gonna learn this time the potty train. So I bought a potty watch, and I just started using the time.
Wait, a potty watch?
Because they have one, yeah.
Like you can put it on your watch?
Well, it's supposed to, like, every 10, 15 minutes, it's supposed to, like, go off and play music, and it's supposed to, like, let him know, okay, I need to go to the restroom. Okay. But the thing is, he don't like nothing on him, so he just kept taking it off. So the watch was somewhere over there going off.
he already using it.
He using it on himself, so it didn't work. But so yeah, that first 4 weeks, I tried to invest the time into him. Like, I'll take him outside, just push him in a little wagon, and I just did like just trying to spend that quality time, because I'm most of the time I'm working throughout the day, and then the nightlife, I'm out to 3 or 4 or 5, 6 in the morning. Yeah. But after that 4 weeks, the clubs just opened up, and then I did more funerals than I've ever done. Then the casinos were still open, so I was going to Baton Rouge a lot. And I just had to just get creative, because prom, it was around the time when prom was, and people couldn't go to prom, so they were making up things. People were like, "Oh, let's all just go to Galveston." They were just making up different things to do, so it helped me out too. So yeah, I was only prepping down about 4 weeks.
Okay. So when I noticed when I talked to you about a week or two ago, you said that you had got rid of your office. Did you use those resources from your office to allocate them to another area of your business, or, did it help free up some stuff in another area in your business?
Oh yeah. Yes, it did. And first of all, I don't even know why we even got the office. Because my assistant, I told her, like, you can do whatever you want to do. You don't have to, as long as the job is done, you can be in Dubai. You can be anywhere you want to be. And I don't know if I should have told her that, because she never went to the office. So I had furniture that I put together in the office, but nobody went. And the drivers, they keep the cars at their house and stuff like that.
So you don't have like a garage or anything that you?
Yeah. So I have a garage here near one of the airports, near Bush Airport, that where I store some of the cars. But for the most, like the smaller cars, the drivers get to keep their cars.
Okay, so you got drivers and everything lined up. All right.
Yeah.
Well, when we come back from the commercial break, we're going to talk more with Nick Preston and business at CNP Luxury Transportation.
So I believe 5 years from now, the things that millennials will have us positioned in is innovation, right? If you're a millennial, let's be clear. I was born in 83. I grew up in a time where we went from cassette tapes to CDs to DVDs, and even VHS tapes, let's be clear. And also from the internet, green screens, to being able to FaceTime your family. If anything, the millennial generation has shown innovation in every way possible in every sector, right? So I believe that 5 years from now, we will be seeing an uprising of newness in a way that is going to blow our minds. You know, the way that we're just being innovated in all spaces, that we can just do whatever is necessary and also pivot, right? We are also a generation that have gone through not a Great Depression, but we know where the stock market has crashed and bounced back and all the things. You know, being a millennial is the chef's kiss, right? So I think that we have tenacity, we show up, we do the work. And I am a generation of people who are hard workers. I've actually worked 2 jobs for a good portion of my life. And just as of recently, although I'm an entrepreneur, I still dabble in multiple things to have multiple streams of income. And I believe that it's within the things that our foundations are built on, have created a space for us to show up, show out, and now you're seeing the fruits of our labor, of all the hard work we've done in the background thus far. So I'm excited about seeing what will happen in the next 5 years. And I think it's even now you're seeing how we move in the midst of COVID and just showing out.
All right, so we are back with Millennials on the Move, speaking with the CEO of CNP Luxury Transportation, Nick Preston. Just getting to know how he started his business and getting to know a little bit more about Nick. So, Nick, with work life and personal life, how do you balance the two? Which are, I know, being a parent, you know, having a personal life as well as building your business? Like, how do you balance the two since you work so much? You know, you be gone from 3 in the morning to 6 in the morning, you know?
Yeah, it's hard. Trust me, it's hard. But I have to, like every day, I'm not the best person. Every day, I'm not the best friend.
Mhm.
Every day, I'm not the best person in a relationship.
Mhm.
Every day, I'm not the best servant.
Mhm.
Like, because I serve my pastor in church. Every day, I'm not the best boss.
Mhm.
But I just try to tap on it.
Yeah.
Like every day, each day, okay, I'm being the best dad this day. I'm gonna be the best fiance this day, or I'm gonna be the best person this day, or I'm gonna be the best. So I just try to tap it on each day because I just know I can't do it all.
Yeah.
So yeah. I just touch it.
Okay, so you about to get married. Congratulations.
Oh yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. So with like, how would you explain that to somebody? Say for instance, if it was a single mother, or if it was a guy that's saying like he's a single dad and he's saying, I want to start this business, I want to be able to do this, how can I do this? And I have all this stuff going on, I got 5 kids, I got so many different things going on. How would I be able to even begin? How would I be able to keep my relationship? Like, give some tips on how you keep your relationship afloat, or how you keep your relationship with your child afloat, or how you, like, what do you do to keep those relationships sustained during your time while you are still running a business?
I think communication first.
Mm-hmm.
So if you have a family, or with your son or with your spouse, you got to communicate and say, hey, this is what I have planned to do, and I need everybody to get on board.
Mm-hmm.
Like this is, and if they believe in you, then it can be. But sometimes you have to make believers.
Yeah.
But you have to show little by little. Like, okay, if it's a business, you have to show like little improvements to show, okay, like they have to see. Like my son, like if I'm out all night, the next day, hey daddy, I want this toy.
Mm-hmm.
Like I need Spider-Man, or I need to go to the circus, or I want to go here. So like I have to show him.
Mm-hmm.
Like if daddy's gone all night, when he comes back, this is what you're gonna get.
Mm-hmm.
So next time I'm going, he'd be like, that's why he was on the phone with me. Like, Daddy, you at work? Oh, Daddy gonna make me some money. If you ask him, he's like, oh yeah, Daddy gonna work to make some money.
Okay.
So yeah, so if you want to be an entrepreneur, so I think first communication, and then you have to like have a belief in yourself.
Mm-hmm.
That I can do it. Like I can make this happen.
Mm-hmm.
And after that you have to isolate yourself from all the distractions, from TV, from social media, just crazy stuff on social media. You
Mm-hmm.
can't just be on Shade Room all day. Like, you have to like be focused, because like I get distracted easily, and I have to like focus myself. Like every day I'm listening to some type of motivation.
Yeah.
What
do you listen to?
I listen to a guy named Wesley Virgin. I listen to E.T. the hip hop preacher.
I ain't never heard none of them people.
Man, these people are good.
Okay.
It's Tony Robbins.
Oh yeah, okay.
Yeah, Les Brown.
Yeah.
So it's a lot of good people, but I cannot go a whole day without listening to some type of motivation.
Yeah.
Like if I'm not fed up, I just feel weird.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Like so before I go to sleep, I gotta listen to something that's gonna feed me, and that's how I make it through like day to day.
Okay. So what is it that you want people to get from your business, or like get to know? What do you want them to know more about it? Like when they jump into your cars or your transportation and they get in it, because they can have anybody serve. They can go and get service from anybody. They can call anybody. But what is it that makes you stand out? That makes them want to be like, okay, I want to come back. I like this.
At first, when I started my business, I was getting celebrities.
Mm-hmm.
I think the first celebrity I had was Charlie Baltimore, and nobody, probably a lot of people like the millennials, the younger millennials don't know it.
I remember Charlie Baltimore.
Yeah, she did the song with Ja Rule.
Yeah,
that was like my first client, but I didn't take a picture with her. And then the next person I had was Sean Kingston. I didn't take a picture with Sean Kingston, but I'm like, man, these people don't care about these people. Like, but then the first person I think I took a picture with was like Cedric the Entertainer. And then once I posted them, then everybody was like, oh man, okay, this is something serious. And then so I think with the cars, and then when you mix it with the celebrities, I really don't have to like sell it at all. People would just be like, I just want to get in that car because Drake was in that car. I want to get in that car because Vivica Fox was in that car.
So how do you connect with the celebrities? Or how you get the
when I first started, I met this guy named Jazz Prince. like the 7 months, like right when I left my job, my cousin was like, "Hey, Nikki, you want to drive us today? Because we going to the block party for Jay Prince Jr.'s birthday party in Fifth Ward." And he was just like, "Just come, just drive us that day and just be around like the vicinity." So I was there, and at the block party, they were shooting. They started shooting, and Chris Brown's there, Tiger's there, and so Jazz Prince jumps in my car. And I was parked like right on the street, like away from all the rides. And he just jumped in my passenger seat. And I'm looking, I'm like, whoa, wait, like you in the wrong car. And he was like, nah, man, take me to Four Seasons Hotel. So we go to Four Seasons, and in the middle of the street, some bodyguards right outside Four Seasons, and then it's Chris Brown. And I'm like, what? Like, where are we at? And then all these other celebrities start coming out. Tiger start coming out. Cam Newton, the football players, start coming out. We all in the middle of the street just talking. And then so at the end of the night, Jazz Prince was like, let me get your number. He said, I'm gonna need you to drive me tomorrow. And then so he got me too, because he called me the next day. He said, how much you charge me to drive me today? I said, man, I ain't gonna charge you no more than $300. And he started at noon, and we ended at 4:00 in the morning. He said $300, right? He still got me for $300. And I was like, man, I didn't think he was gonna go for that long, because he was like, I just need to go up the street to Four Seasons and just stay with them and talking over Chris. I was like, okay, cool. So we stayed up to 4:00 in the morning, and he gave me the $300, and then every day it was $300. But along with $300, I started to get like the Westbrook sisters. I started to get like all the Instagram models, and then I got Fabulous, and then I got DJ Khaled.
Was it all
Bryson
because
Tiller,
of that?
all because of Jazz. All because of that relationship that I made with Jazz Prince. He just like, hey, go on tour. I got this artist that I'm grooming right now, and we're going on Bryson Tiller tour. So we go on Bryson Tiller tour. I meet Bryson Tiller, and we all just hang out backstage and doing different things. And then I'm just introducing to myself to everybody that's there. Like I said, word of mouth. I'm my own word of mouth at this point.
Wow, that is amazing. Like one intro or one person can set you up for life. So
and I don't think people know who Jazz Prince is. Like, people are slowly, but he the one who discovered Drake. He the one who, when Katrina happened, Birdman and all them were here in Houston, and so Jazz found Drake on MySpace, and he took Drake and brought him to Lil Wayne, and that's how.
I heard of his name before too, but I've never his
dad's the owner of Rap A Lot Records.
Oh, okay, okay.
So I make that connection, and man, he's helped me out a whole lot. And as well, my pastor, he does conferences here. Pastor, he does conferences all the time. So that's how I get like a lot of Bishop Jakes and all those people, Vivica Fox and Megan Good and all of them people. So every time he do like a women's conference, he bring everybody in or guest pastors to speak, and so I get celebrities on that end too.
Okay. So do you have anything new coming up, or is this like, you got anything new coming for 2022? You got...
Man, I just try to stay current. So like I start brainstorming right before the year comes in. I'm like, what does everybody like? Like, what's the trend? Because town cars are out. Nobody book a town car no more. Nobody book a stretch town car. Nobody want a regular town car. The thing that's in is Sprinter vans. Everybody custom Sprinter vans. So then you just got to stay current. Okay, what do they like? Do they like the captain seats? Because Ashanti, all she want to ride is captain seats. So it's like, what do you like? So you have to just stay current, because if you book a party bus style Sprinter van, she's not gonna get no party bus style Sprinter van. So you just have to be in the know. Okay, this is what people like. People like Escalades and Suburbans. Celebrity, that's all they want to ride, an Escalade and Suburban. So if you get an Expedition, if you get a Ford Explorer, they not getting in there. Really? So you just have to you just have to stay in the know, and that's what you got to strategize in that way and just stay current. Because if I fall behind and I'm still running town cars, it's not gonna work.
So do they like when you are setting these? So do you have like a party bus where you have you're able to do parties for like teens and stuff like that?
Yeah. Well, at one point when I first started this business, like the first year, I was up to 5 cars in the first year, and I know people would know, like, man, how did he get 5 cars the first year? But I knew this owner of this company. He was leasing cars, and it wasn't like your ordinary company. This guy, I met him valeting cars, and he would take used cars and lease them, and it wasn't no mile cap on them. And I'll just go to him, and when I'll go pay my car note, I'll be like, hey, I need I need that car right there. And he's like, well, just give me $5,000 down. And how comfortable with your note be? And then so that's how I got like the first 3 or 4 cars. And then my uncle that just called me while we were doing the interview, he owns a church in Atlanta. And he was like, hey, we was all on a party bus. And he was like, I got one of these buses at my church. He said, if you can figure out what's wrong with it, you can have it. And then so when we came back from out of town, it just kept playing in my mind. Like, he was fine. I think he was just caught up in the moment. And then so I called him. And I said, hey, were you serious about giving me the bus? And he was like, yeah, if you want it. He said, I'm going to connect you with the guy from the church. He connected me with the guy. They shipped me the title. And then I called somebody, a record company, get the bus, take it to the yard. And all they need was 2 starters and a battery.
Oh, man, that's easy.
$534. I drove all the way there. It took the whole weekend, but I drove all the way to Atlanta and drove that bus all the way back.
Oh my God!
So I had 5 cars, and I was in an apartment at this time. Remember my $599 apartment, and with 5 cars outside.
Wow.
So I'm paying car notes. I got this big old bus in the apartment.
They probably complained on you, like
no, nobody knew because I was gone all the time working, and so. People, I think they probably, if they found out it was me because the park was already limited, some apartment complexes.
You're gonna get 2 and they will tell you.
Right. They get busy too. I'm taking up all the parking spots, jumping in a new car every day. So that's
So, what is it that we can learn about Nick outside of the fiance, father, CMP luxury? Like, what is it that stands out about you, or what is it that you could describe yourself in 3 words?
I'm humble. I'm humble.
You only got one?
That's it. I try to stay as humble as can be. Like, I try to be I want to be personable and approachable. Just like how you just walked up to me at church. You just walked to me and said, hey, we meet.
And you know what? At first I wasn't. And then the girl, one of the connectors was like, yeah, he's really cool. I'm like, he probably stuck up. He ain't gonna be able to do it. And she was like, he'll do it. Just ask him. So that was cool. I appreciate that. And so how do you want people to reach you, or how can you be reached? Can you let people know how you reach?
Instagram, One Nick P. My business page is CMP Luxury. Facebook is Nick Preston. Facebook, my business page is CMP Luxury Transportation. You can reach me by anything. You can get my attention by walking up to me. You can DM me. Yeah, I try to stay humble, and I try to help as many people as possible.
Okay. Yeah. Well, Nick, I appreciate you for coming on today and speaking about everything you have going on. You were one of the people that I thought is like a top millennial that stands out, and so hopefully we will have you on Millennial Voices speaking on the panel, because you are a top influencer, which is coming up on January 26th through the 29th. Please make sure that you tune in. So I hope to see you there. I hope that you'll be able to, tell your story and laugh with us on the panel, a couple of us. But that's all the time that we have for today. Thank Nick for coming and joining us. We appreciate him. Please go follow him on all social media platforms, on his Facebook, Instagram. He said whatever way that you can reach him, you can reach him. Yeah. And so also, if you are an entrepreneur and you're looking forward to showcase your business, or you want to showcase your talent, or whatever it is that you do, please make sure that you reach out to us. You can send us an email at mogul.media.us. I think I got that wrong, but mogulmedia.us, or you can reach out to us on Young and Thriving Entrepreneurs Facebook and Instagram page, or you can reach out to them on my page as well, Brittany Kendall, or Faith Over Fear TC Inc. on Instagram as well. So until then, please make sure that you stay motivated. Whatever it is that you want to do, or whatever it is that you are striving to do, try to make sure that you take one leap of faith and just do it, because time we're running out of time, and we don't have a lot to look forward to. So you want to make sure that you make that happen right now. So until then, be blessed and have a great week.
Okay. Hi, I'm Nick Preston, the CEO of CMP Luxury Transportation. Make sure you tune in to Millennials on the Move with Brittany Kendall. Peace.